Hey there, Aquarius. How's it going? Hope everything's going good with you and yours. Welcome to your week of April 18th, 2022 tarot reading. We're looking at your past, your present, and your future. We're clarifying all those cards and tying everything off with an oracle message at the end of your video here. Hopefully everything's resonating with you. If it does resonate, that's great. And the best way to let me know that it's resonating is by leaving a like and a comment down below. But if it's not resonating or parts of it aren't, those parts, or it's just not part of your message at all, so don't worry about it. It's just not for you. So hopefully this is all going good for you, but let's get in to your reading here. So Aquarius, for you, the card to keep an eye on this week is the Knight of Swords. I would say keep an eye on being reckless at this time. The Knight of Swords is one of those people who really acts to just act. Like, he doesn't really focus on like why he should be doing something or where he should be going. He just goes. He just goes and does things here. So I would be careful with that. I would also just be careful with your words as well and your thoughts. Be careful, like, don't just say the first thing that comes to mind to somebody. Be a little more careful and be more considerate with that kind of stuff. Not saying necessarily that you're like that all the time. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But just saying, be a little more mindful of it this week more than ever here. But we're starting things off. We got the Ten of Cups, the Empress, and the King of Wands here. This looks really good here. I feel like you've recently achieved something that's something important to you. I feel like you really are, it's really emboldening you. Is that a word? It's making you feel bolder. It's making you feel greater at this time because we got the King of Wands here. Don't worry if you're not female, or not female. Don't worry if you're not male. The King of Wands is just energy, but it's a confident energy. It's an energy of like, I'm in charge. As you can see, he's a director here. He's the one in charge, calling the shots, you know, in charge of the movie and such here. With the Ten of Cups, your dreams coming true, wishes coming true, things of that nature, feeling very happy, feeling like you're, you know, as happy as you've ever been at this time too, which is great, or at least you're working towards that. Maybe that's what that King of Wands is. You're pursuing that with passion. You're like, I want to be happy at this time. I want to be happy forever. I don't want to ever be sad again, right? And with the Empress, you're drawing on a lot of energy at this time that's, you know, infinite, right? It's not necessarily something that's like, I'll never be this powerful again, but you know what I mean? But it's kind of that energy of like, you're drawing on something good. You're drawing on something that is potentially like really doing you a ton of good at this time, which I think is beautiful here. Really great. It's also saying, keep in mind having an abundance mindset. You know, if, you know, opportunities kind of slip through your fingers or things don't necessarily work out the way you want, just be like, well, it just didn't, but you know, the next time I'll get it. You know, next time, Gadget. If you ever watched Inspector Gadget when you were younger. But let's take a look here at your clarifiers for your past energy, so we get a little more detail on what's going on here. What do we got? What do we got for you? Got the Two of Swords here. I feel like you're leaving your comfort zone, moving on to something new at this time. The Fool, definitely starting up something new. That's great. And the Queen of Pentacles here too as well. Really working hard on something, trying to cultivate something here at this time and letting it happen organically too. I feel like you're starting up something new, and it's kind of in a way that like this seems right. Like, this seems like almost like divine timing or something here, which is great. I think that's really good. If that's not something you haven't started, I feel like it's coming soon for you here. And it's going to be like this kind of new beginning where you're like, you know, get to be carefree. I get to do what I want. I get to pursue what I want. And I know I can do this too. So I think that's really beautiful. In your present energy, we got the Two of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles here. Things may be slow going, but trust the process with the Knight of Pentacles. You know, just got to move forward one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. When you can't, you know, as they say, a saying from a show I used to watch all the time, the guy would say, when you can't walk, you crawl, and when you can't crawl, you find someone to carry you. So that's really like, I feel like that with the Knight of Pentacles. It's like, just move forward. As long as you're moving forward, that's the main thing. It takes as long as it takes, right? With the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords repeating here, again, I feel like there's something you're moving on to. I feel like you're kind of being called to like move out of your comfort zone at this time as well. Maybe this isn't necessarily something that you've done already, but it could have been something that you're being kind of called to like make this decision, and maybe you're still dealing with that presently, where it's like you're kind of being said like, hey, you want your happiness, you want, you know, you want to move forward after something you really want, something that you think would be really good for you, it's time to move on here. And with this Page of Swords, try to find clarity, like try to do as best you can here. You can see there's clouds in his head, or around his head, and it represents he can't really see everything as best as possible, but he does try. He does try to move forward. He does try to find clarity as best he can. Clarity in his own thoughts. He tries to cut through and find the truest version of whatever it is, like that clarity that he's looking for so much. So let's look at some clarifiers here. Get a little more detail on this. A lot of swords in your reading here. Two of Swords twice, the Page of Swords here now. Knight of Swords. Oh, we got a pop out. We got the Ace of Pentacles here for you. Some sort of offer potentially here. Maybe that's that offer to move on, or that offer to start something new here. The Moon, Pisces card as well. Also telling us that like maybe you don't see things very clearly, especially with the Two of Swords. You got that blindfold over your eyes here that they have in the Two of Swords, and also the Page of Cups, where we have that lack of clarity because of the clouds. Moon says there's partial illumination here. You don't necessarily see everything clearly, but move forward on your path. Do what you think is right. And the Page of Pentacles, again, seizing that offer, I feel, and moving forward with it, planting those seeds, growing as a person here. With two pages and an ace, like there's really something new here. You're being called to do something new. Again, with the Fool as well. Like there's something here like that's worth starting, something new, I feel. And I feel like it's definitely something worth it. I feel like it's kind of like your dreams. Like I feel like you've kind of been denying yourself maybe, or maybe situations just haven't worked out where you could pursue your dreams. Like maybe, like it may not necessarily be you, but it might be, something like you had no control over now. But now I feel like it's a prime opportunity to go after what you want. We got the Three of Wands, the Magician, and the Six of Wands here. Three of Wands. There's no such thing as a perfect moment. Like start now, start right now. The Three of Wands really tells us that, don't sit on your hands. Don't miss the boat. Don't miss the boat. Those boats sailing away in the distance. He missed every one of them. He missed all these opportunities here. And it's not to say, because we have the Empress back here who says like there will be more opportunities. It's not to say there's not another boat coming, but like start going. Start trying to find a ticket. Start trying to find another ship to sail to those new lands. The Magician, manifest it into reality. Really pull it down. Start working hard on it here in the future. You're gonna get what you want. Like you gotta work with it. You got to work with spirit. You got to work with the universe. You got to work with yourself to manifest that. And with the Six of Wands, it's time to start really lining up what you're thinking and what you're feeling. I feel like a lot of this is like kind of daydreaming kind of energy, right? It's kind of saying like, the future looks bright, or it looks good, or I can achieve what I want to achieve, right, Aquarius? But it's like, but you're not taking action towards it. And the Six of Wands wants you to line it up, back up what you're thinking with what you're doing, so that you line up and move forward in a strong, confident energy here. Because it's all the pieces are here. You've got it in you, whether you realize it or not. It's just a matter of like actually taking the action and going for it here. Let's clarify this with some clarifiers, obviously. Jesus. Come on, Charles. Jeez Louise, buddy. Well, let's take a look what we got here for you, for your future clarifiers for Aquarius. We got the Hangman. Yeah, you need to change your perspective here. I feel like you've been doubting yourself for a long time, or at least maybe not like actively being like, oh, I can't do this, but just kind of having maybe some fears or some troubles here. But change up your perspective. Like, you can really do this. Three of Swords, cut out something that no longer serves you. Negative mindset does not serve you. All it does is hold you back, right? It's not doing you any good sitting there going like, oh, that'll never happen, or that'd be nice, or whatever. Start trying to build something for yourself for the future. Eight of Pentacles, work hard on it. Focus on it. Focus on perfecting something. Focus on building something here. Building yourself up here, Aquarius, all right? You don't have to do it like all at once. It doesn't have to, like, you don't need, and there's the Eight of Pentacles underneath of the Knight of Swords here, but you don't need to rush into something. You don't need to focus hard on something that, like, you can't, like, jumping into something and be like, oh, why aren't I, moving so far along? Because Charles told me things would be moving along quickly or something. It's like, no, it takes time. It does take time, but don't be so like, I feel like with the Knight of Swords here, it's almost as if you very quickly, like, you'll try something, it's not progressing the way you want it to, and you abandon it. Or you try something and very quickly you let your mind kind of clutter up and kind of deject you, right? And like, I'm not trying to rip you or nothing. Like, I've done very much the same thing my whole life too. Like, it happens to us. It's just, I feel like you really need to kind of break that habit, break that mindset, and get more, like, slow it down, like the Knight of Pentacles is telling us here. It's just kind of take some time. Don't just discard it because things aren't working out immediately, right? Like, try to take your time and see something through here, but you got to start, right? That's the important thing, is you got to start. Let's see what we got. Your last little bit of advice here. We got the Turkey Spirit saying, give with gratitude and grace. And that's talking to yourself as well, right? Not just for others, not just giving to others in your life, which of course is always a positive, but with this saying, give with gratitude and grace to yourself, right? Give yourself some time, give yourself some patience, right? I'm myself, just as a personal thing, like, I'm notorious for, like, giving my friends or other people in my life the benefit of the doubt, but then when I make a mistake or something, I'm very hard on myself because I'm like, oh, like, I should have had that, I should have known that, why am I so, like, why am I so stupid or dumb or something, right? And that's something I've been working on for a long time, and I'll continue to work on. I'm sure that'll be a part of me for the rest of my life, but I feel like this is really calling to you to tell you, like, hey, you need to be grateful with yourself and gracious with yourself, not just with others. You need to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Give yourself the time you would give others in your life as well. So hope that helped you out, Aquarius. Hope that resonated with you. If you want to help out the channel, leave a like down below, comment down below. Lets me and YouTube know you really like what I do here. You can also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to stick around. And you can also, of course, check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos after this one and see what might all be coming for you in the week ahead. And I'll see you next time, Aquarius.